I think Dplus kind of happy with how things have shaken out. They got a comfort pick for aiming. The comp is very cohesive with these dive threats coming through. The matchup top lane is good for them. So I think they navigate things pretty okay, all things considered. Yeah. I think you really have to examine it from the lens of if that invade had been successful and he had the prio in his lanes, Lucy
oh god,
be out the game. Oh man.
Doran has just been obliterated by Xiu here. Gets the scrap shield, flash forward and lands the harpoon. There's a solo kill. And that is first blood. Man, I'm so used to it being Gwen doing that, but it's Xiu this time. As well as Lucid, thinking that his prize is going to be this blue buff, and that is due to the fact that Showmaker has all of that priority in this mid lane, but bot side priority is also there for T1. So a little bit of an honest engage here as Carrier dives forward. They get on top of Lucid. He's lit on fire. Faker free hitting now with these Sand Soldiers, but it's Carrier that's the one in trouble. And with that Spirit Rush, Showmaker is able to take him down. Beryl now looking for Faker as Lucid in amongst it. Gumayushi the target, but Ona goes down first. And that's another kill, this time going over to aiming. It's a disaster for T1. That's even feats of warfare already completed for DK. To answer back, right? Because DK needs to take risks. They need to do things. And Lucid going to start by taking down these grubs as they spawn. It's going to be the first feed of the objectives to come on through here for DK. They can upgrade their shoes relatively quickly, but they need to get another one of these if they do want to lock that one down. And Doran fighting against Xiu. Grand Starfall does come down. Let's see whether the Rumble will survive, and the answer is absolutely he will not. As Lucid just wanting to get that final grub, and he does manage to secure it. So T1 not able to deny the feat. They will be able to deny triple grubs from DK. So T1 on the board now with that kill under Xiu, certainly good news.
In that play, Dplus very confident to pick up this dragon. Yep. Second objective of the game.
Deadly Flourish, a bit of an attempt there from Gumayushi, and I was going to say, oh, that's optimistic.
As a result.
Oh, so he hasn't had blue buff for very long.
Yeah, oh, Guma.
Okay, Solar Flare is going to miss the stun, but he's still dead. Lucid comes on over, grabs the kill. Beryl able to tank up the turret just well enough. Plates, so able to get that extra money, certainly going to be good. Lucid just flipped over the wall, so doesn't have that ability at this point in time. Avoids the Deadly Flourish, though, as he flashes over the wall. Ona goes in, but Beryl is right there already. The curtains are going to get called, as now Lucid still trying to escape. I don't know whether Beryl is going to be quite as lucky, though, as he realizes he has to stick around, and that will spell his death. So a little bit of an overextension, and this is something that they were talking about on the space. Aware of what's going on here, but I just don't know whether DK is going to have a way in. As I say that, Lucid just blast cones his way into the pit, and Ona is going to be able to stun him. The front flip gets him over, but that means the dragon definitely goes into the hands of T1. Equalizer goes down, not really doing too much. So an evening out of the Drakes. Another Earth, Wind, and Fire. We had one yesterday.
Dragon, but then Dplus kind of force them away so they can at least get the Heralds as a consolation prize. And the mid tower, thanks to the pressure Showmaker had earlier on, is low enough where Herald with a bit of damage would be able to take it down.
Yeah. It's a big one. Now Faker actually able to put on a lot of pressure here towards his bottom side, but Showmaker is going to answer that. Spidey sense is tingling there as Faker is going to be able to back away.
This gives some pressure towards the top side when Insoon is big, but 3 is really where he's going to take off. And now looking to Herald the mid tower. This won't kill it, but they should be able to finish it off with some autos. Yep.
Beautifully done. Faker is going to try and return the favor, heading down towards his bottom side. No feats of strength, of course, but first turret blood going over to DK going to be an important one there.
I have to TP out.
Yeah, Faker will set up a turret of his own, and will look to take down this wave more. And Solar Flare going to connect onto Ona. Zenith Blade to try and chain this CC, but the Magnet Storm is good from Carrier. Untargetable is Lucid, but he has to use everything to try and get out, and it does not work. Oh dear, sometimes Zenith played in and it is just not the right call, as now the Otacon going to get taken and T1 really getting out to a fantastic lead off the back of just Faker's phenomenal moves in the bottom lane and an overextension again from DK.
It's a very weird play for Dplus to go for in that situation. You know, Showmaker's TP wasn't quite available, Faker's was.
Go back to that, perhaps.
They're finding angle to get some tower damage here. Oh, she was struggling now.
Yep, Doran in a much better spot as he flashes in and returns the favor. The turret will do a fair bit of damage there, as in fact, yeah, Doran does indeed die. But now we've got another fight breaking out. Beryl, once again, just gonna be dead. Solar Flare looking a little celebratory as it hits absolutely nothing. And T1 They get the better end of it, even though it was a 1-for-1 as far as the top laners were concerned. Losing Beryl going to be a big deal because that should spell this Dragon going on over to T1 without DK being able to do anything about it.
Starting to feel pretty rough for Dplus, considering how good this game started as well. Starting to fall behind and potentially losing a game like this. Yeah, I didn't see that he...
All right, Beryl's in again. Lucid is there watching again, and Beryl's dead again.
This is just a never change game, I feel like, for Beryl.
Yeah. To take a turret shot or two. But unfortunately does not happen. Grand Starfall goes down as Xiu is just going to get swept back, and will do a fair bit of damage here to Ona on the outset, as now Gumayusi also in a little bit of trouble. Good cleanse from aiming, but it's not going to be enough. Carrier just being a defender, as Lucid realizing that perhaps he's also overextended, and Beryl's out of the gate once again. Okay, it's time to die once more.
Oh,
as
look at
these
the
health bars, these health bars are so incredibly low. If Beryl can actually get in there, Solar Flare is back up again, and he throws it down. Not going to find anything, but he's holding them in position. The Eclipse wears off. Beryl is certainly killable, but so are T1 as Doran's teleported in, and oh my goodness, this Gwen is so scary. 15 seconds until Xiu's back up again. And it's a 4v5. In goes Carrier, but doesn't really find the angle, and now Showmaker with all that mobility, looking to see what he can get done. Untargetability good there from Lucid, but Gumayusi, he lands the bullets. Faker goes golden, and DK melts like butter in the microwave. T1 just destroy them. T1, like, that recoup was just so incredibly impressive. You get around Doran, who has that full health bar, and DK, they could smell blood in the water, but it just wasn't T1. See here, the siege is continuing. The Baron getting to work here. As Equalizer goes down, flash in from Beryl, gets the cleanse out from Gumayusi as Carrier going down lower and lower. The Magnastorm not going to save him there. There's some untargetability from Lucid, will not save him here either, as it's a 1-for-1 in the end. And now Doran is rotating over. The needlework is so scary as once again he's under the turret. Once again he's dead under the turret, as aiming not going to be able to stick around though. So with the health bar advantages, Ona? Okay.
That's a little deep.
Okay, that's a choice. You can't go through that base gate, but that's okay. He's able to wait things out, and the rest of T1 will join. So
that's just aura, you know?
That was a lot of aura, and I think Showmaker could feel it, as the inhibitor going to be the next to fall here, as T1, they're pretty good at this, closing out these games. Yeah, exactly. Opportunity. 3 items like you were talking about, a thing to watch out for on aiming, but I feel like it's too little, and it's probably too late.
Yeah, the problem is, you know, there's 3 items across the board for T1.
I'm going to connect there onto Doran, and then Showmaker has to try and find a way out as, the deadly flourish! That was beautiful! From Gumayusi, he has to now walk off the red carpet as Beryl looking for Doran. The Magnastorm's gorgeous! Carrier sacrifices himself for it though, and now they're looking for even more. Over the wall they go. Doran is so low, Guma's so low, but it doesn't matter because they get a clean ace, only losing Carrier for it. And T1 will now look to finish the game.
Dplus go for an attempt there, you know, they managed to find a kill onto the support, but nothing more. They don't have to follow through with Showmaker dead, and with this much of a deficit, it was a tall order anyway. T1 managing to hold strong after, you know, some troubles, a little bit of troubles in the early game. A very convincing finish out for this game.
Absolutely beautifully done by T1, and it was just the fact that they held it together, right? It looked like things were snowballing out of control, then one overextension around the Krug camp. It seared into my brain. Even if you are just picking MF straight up into it, is still not going to be that high.
Yeah. I mean, also what often happens in pro play is that the Braum is a little bit under-leveled compared to like solo queue. Definitely a lot of Winter's Vice spam. Now the Hex Flash coming in.
Yeah, over the wall goes Carrier, and he's out of turret range, finds a double pulverize, Maker Rain comes down as Gumayusi comes on over. The door is set up at first blood, still goes over to the Misfortune. And Beryl, like you say, didn't have a whole lot of the blue stuff, but is now going to have to deal with another wave as Carrier finds yet another pulverize. He will die, and Beryl is fine. And Gumayusi decided that he did not want to kill him ahead of Carrier. As DK thinking about going for a contest, but I don't know about it. As Seismic Shove going wide. Carrier comes in, gets a pulverize onto Lucid, who does get the decoy off. And now Doran just says, nope, you do not have a jungler. They also take down the Dragon on the back end as aiming. He is just going to get evicted from this area. No flash, no chance And Gumayusi even able to walk on over, give him a love tap, take him down. Shu on this top side of the map is at least trying to get something back.
Because they don't have flashes on Beryl or aiming, they just all die.
And yes, you see, aiming having the difficulty of not being able to walk very fast to get out of seismic shoves. So Faker able to pull him back in, get another kill for Gumayusi to make that lane even more difficult for this Varus. As T1 looking to take down these grubs at the same time. They will be one objective away from picking up feats of strength in this game if that does in fact come in. Showmaker looking to try and defend as Gumayusi Carrier are set up. Owner is taking the grubs. They're just taking all sorts of things all the time. And T1's lead, I think, is only going to extend from this point on. And Carrier, I feel like he's everywhere this game. As the Cyclone comes in, can Carrier actually get in there to headbutt Lucid under the turret? And he does, in fact, do so. He flashes away. Realm Warp going to come on through. That gets rid of Beryl. So Beryl lives, and Lucid is very dead.
Start to fail when you're lacking that extra bit of damage.
Well, speaking of an extra bit of damage, I think Faker certainly has it. As the threaded volley is coming down, we're going to stop watching that one as Lucid comes in, and the hook shot is so good from Doran. Bullet time comes down as well. Beryl almost just dead from that one, but they do manage to get the Camille, but at what cost? The answer is everything.
Easy cleanup from the side of T1. Sejuani.
Yeah.
You dive in as this Wukong, you're probably just dead immediately.
Well, Lucid is going to dive in and just flashes away and dies.
Wow.
Like, why? Still, Showmaker and Shu, they're going to come on over. All Out is going to be used to separate Owner from this fight, but he just gets back towards this collapse onto Showmaker. And Gumayusi, he comes down yet again. They've set the table for it, and they're now looking to grab these kills. Glacial Prison comes on through once more, but Shu, pretty tanky.
Game one, Dplus had a lead, had an advantage, managed to push it a little bit, and then they started to flounder and T1 pulled back. This is a game though where T1 are the ones who led the charge, who have the advantage, and it just doesn't even look remotely close.
Nope. I feel like the floundering is where we started.
I'm sure he's all by himself and doesn't have the entirety of the Avengers ready to assemble the second something goes wrong.
The old Avengers or the new ones?
Both of them together.
Oh, all of them?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Rift Herald is just going to be secured here by T1. And Showmaker standing on a ward, that could be scary. Blast Cone here, it's an Infernal Soul, so we'll have a few extra Blast Cones. Sorry, Valdez. As, yes, T1 just trying to get even more control, just to make sure that Faker can very safely take this turret on this top side. As I've seen fights in this area happen before, as Beryl throws out an ulti for fun. Seems crazy. As Headbutt Pulve onto Beryl. Owner swings a flail at him as okay. Aiming going to start this one up. He's already down very low. There's the flash forward. Can they actually kill Guma? Is the question. The answer so far is no. They take down Beryl finally. They overextend far enough to kill the Misfortune, but now the rest of them are likely to go down. Doran just executes aiming underneath the turret. And Shu trying to escape. That blast cone direction was looking a little dicey, but he gives them the good old thumbs up as he exits. But they didn't need to kill Shu to feel really good about how this fight goes, as Lucid is just running for the hills. And it feels like T1, they don't give the opportunities, right? Because they're not overextending into vision that they don't have, as the bullet time is so good. Beryl's door does pretty much nothing, and aiming is just shredded. Down goes the Wukong as well, as there is an All Out, so they kill Gumayusi one more time. As Showmaker also might be able to get a kill onto Carrier. There is that one. Shu gets himself out of there, but I don't know whether Showmaker wins this 1v1 against Owner, and he does not. Down goes the Cassante as well, as T1 complete the ace with only the sacrifice of their bottom lane, and you can see Shu just head in hands.
Hampering away at Guma's KDA. In terms of the game state, it's just getting worse and worse every time they take down the MF.
As Lucid wanting to trade for an Infernal Drake.
I don't think he gets to make that trade.
Well, I mean, we know that there are a couple towards the top side, but it looks like DK may not have full information. Showmaker coming on over. There's a teleport in from Doran. DK going to have to be swift about this one if they want to lock this down, as they do manage to secure it, get some bounty gold as the Cyclone comes in. Lucid looking for Faker there, but Faker moves out of the way of the Cyclone. Very nicely done. Hextech Ultimatum onto aiming in the back line. What's this Varus ever supposed to do this game? And it is get shoved and then bullet timed to death, as Lucid That was a bit tricky. Gets himself over the wall as Xiu trying to get into that backline, goes all out and pulls Doran over, but he's so incredibly low. Gumayusi is looking for that kill, and he should be able to get it. Still, actually, Xiu doing some work, but Gumayushi's a raid boss. He is massive. That's another ace for T1. Baron going to be next on the cards. Been up for 22 seconds. As, all right, Realm War play. They want to kill Gumayusi one more time as the seismic shove is so perfectly placed. Showmaker goes golden. Xiu into that backline. They might be able to kill Gumayusi, but I guarantee they are all dead after that as Ona takes down the Rise. Doran getting on in there. Man, it's doing so much damage. Xiu dashing around, doing cool stuff, but you know what? He's dead. And there is not a whole lot to be said other than that. T1, even though they don't have their 80 carry, they will be able to pick up a Baron. And that is going to be yet another 1-for-5 trade.
Max, do you remember, I think it was an MSI game, and it was on Faker's birthday, and I think he was playing against a Turkish representative. And T1 has been so owner-reliant, so it's a good omen seeing them win with them on the Sejuani.
Xiu is taking a lot of damage as Doran trying to chase him down. Aiming is going to push him away, but it's not going to stop this inhibitor from going down. DK, it is feeling circular in motion. They are just slowly but surely going down the drain. As Xiu does get his health bar back, Weave as well just to block off Lucid from this fight. Seismic Shove does not connect, but the Hextech Ultimatum goes in. There's another gorgeous bullet time as Gumayusi cuts them down. Kill credit going over to Doran. Sitting on 10 now this game. What a monster. Seismic Shove's gorgeous there from the GOAT. And I think T1 may have just done it far more swiftly than the last time, as Carrier does what he likes to do at the end of games, which is die to the fountain laser, and that's going to mean that it isn't the classic for this particular game, which is 1-for-5 trades. The Nexus still going to go down, though, and T1 looking clean with it here today.
You want to save those for later, but I think against Gen.G, they're not really a save it for later team. It's a we need everything we can to win this game.
Yeah, or wait, no. The other option is, like, get this game out of the way because we're on red side, then on blue side in. So he's going to have to flash. And so now there is no way for BNK to really contest these grubs unless Raptor does something very sneaky. Comes in maybe a little early, though, as the stun comes down. That is going to be all three of the grubs going on over to Canyon. And Raptor just has to Warrior Trickster his way over the wall.
It's like, okay, go time.
Speaking of go time, oh no, he doesn't make it over. He doesn't make it over, and the Orb Deception is just going to kill him. Canyon takes a couple of turret shots, but is otherwise A-okay. And the woes for Vikla are not exactly going away.
Yep.
And they are going to start it. Full vision available here for Gen.G with that control ward in the back of the pit. And Canyon right over here. Teleport in.
Jovi just got Malignance. Massive.
Oh my god, that's a huge... 11 minutes? Oh yeah, we getting out of here. As now Chovy looking to see where he can use this cool new item. True Shot Barrage once again. That's actually 1 point. As Solar Flare not going to quite get the stuns. A little bit slower as, oh dear. The Wukong not exactly doing too much. The Drake going on over to Canyon there as well, as Kellen going to have to flash to get himself out of the way. No more stun available, and Kellen with the fadeaway ignite goes in. But Chovy, I think, is going to be able to get a little bit of value from his Malignance. 2-0-1 now on the Ahri.
All bets are off.
Yep, and Duro played that so well. But we're going to have a look towards this top side as Clear is underneath this turret. Did have his mist for a little while, but Canyon, he charges up the queue. He takes down McGwen, and it's now 4-0 game. But is it too early to be talking about, well, now we just need to deny the perfect game? Because this is looking really, really difficult. Pretty impressive observing here from Kisan and, of course, Jonas Strong. To really show the amount of electrocution that's been going on this game.
I think talking about that last setup, I think it's just kind of an indication of the difference between Gen.G and some of our weaker teams in the league.
Just right here. Diablo moving in. Ruler on an awkward spot, but Keen, he's looking for some Shock Blast. He finds the middle there. That's 6 points. Is now Clear, looking for Chovy in the back line. And it is going to be Drake secured by BNK. So, no more perfect game. Gen.G not going to need to play as reserved anymore. So they throw down the Rift Herald, looking to see whether they can get some meaningful damage towards this outer turret. See whether that does indeed happen. Shock Blast not quite connecting. Duro looking for an angle, perhaps, as in goes Kellen. But he's blowing up. Oh my goodness, the damage is absurd. And there's a knock-up on the Vikla as well. He finds the Empress Divide, but it hits no one. It does nothing, and Duro's just out of there. The stun comes down, but it's onto the clone. Keen now looking to see what he can get done, and that Shock Blast at point blank is so scary to the skies. But It's so much picking of the gap here between two members. On to Clear will get his flash as well. Gen.G, that's a lot of summon spells on B&K's side down. Gen.G might want to go for this Otacon.
They could potentially, after this tower, you know, they did a good amount of damage to B&K FearX. I think that's the difference, right? Flash bid on both sides, but the resources invested by B&K FearX and the health bars lowered a lot more significant.
Yeah, not to mention the coffers are just a little bit fuller on the side of Gen.G, as they have a 5,000 gold lead, close to 6 already. Now they're going to augment that with a bunch of stacks and fun stuff there.
Power of all those pedals, and they are looking for Chovy.
Oh, yeah. They will just be able to throw everything at him, and I think Chovy is going to die. He almost manages to Spirit Rush his way out, but thankfully doesn't put his flash on cooldown.
And I feel like Canyon's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Here I'm looking a little bit.
You've died infinitely more times than me.
Yeah.
Play towards the bottom side. His quickness was so good in the dragon fight as well.
I mean, Keen kind of set up them getting the Otacon.
Hey, there we go.
I think that's the thing with POM as well. The first game, you kind of like, okay, who's still in the running? And right now, everyone in Gen.G is still in the running.
Kind of a big deal here as well. We'll give a lot of extra damage over to Gen.G because they're the ones that are starting it up, and they should be able to take this one down without too much of a response.
I mean, getting that dragon early for B&K FearX definitely bought them some time, so they don't have to fight every dragon from here on out, but it's going to get rough if they keep giving them over. As soon as it hits something, he's instantly dipping out. Doesn't know what's in that brush. They will clear it out, though.
Ooh, Chovy finds another electrocute. That does a lot of damage. Still holding the charm from what we can see is the flash has to be out. As in goes Duro, finds a knock-up onto Vikla, but the follow-up isn't quite there. Clear's teleported in. Grand Starfall from Canyon, who's looking for Vikla, gets his target, but the follow-up is not going to be available, and Diablo has already dealt with Chovy. A great fight here for B&K FearX around the Baron as well, with no jungler. Is it a Baron angle?
It's risky, but I think they have to go for it. You're in a bad spot. Try and make it happen. They're going to maybe look for some poke in the meantime to make it worth.
Oh, Diablo could be in trouble here as Ruler able to free hit. Clear looking to get on top of him. Raptor taking so much damage as Keen flashing away from Diablo. Can Diablo follow it up though? And the answer is yes, as they take him out. Ruler with the flash is so sexy, but still, he is going to go down. And Diablo just chasing after him. There it is. The kill comes through. It's a triple here for this Ezreal. Okay, coming alive as Clear getting on top of Chovy in that backline. As Ruler's just dead. That Mystic Shot did so much damage, and now Chovy is going to be cut down where he stands. The two damage dealers just on the floor, and B&K are looking for a Baron.
And we were talking about B&K FearX, you know, how in their previous matches, sometimes playing as if they have nameplates off. They're playing as if the gold is just not a concept they're aware of. They're playing with such confidence, and actually that gold lead now in favor of them. They've managed to pull back a 6,000 gold lead against Gen.G.
Out a turret in that mid lane that they can siege down for some extra money utilizing this Baron. They grab themselves their second Drake. And for this team, Kellen is actually going to be a legitimate tank as the game goes on. Of course, can just put up the Eclipse as we can see right here. Actually now taxiing into the backline as well as Keen gets engaged on, and Canyon is just dead in the blink of an eye. Gen.G are falling apart, ladies and gentlemen. Gen.G do need to still be respected.
They keep fishing with these ults from Chovy, and every time he just takes so much damage in return. Remember, Diablo's cleanse as well, so even if it hits, doesn't necessarily mean they'll get a kill.
Yep. It's a 2,000 gold lead for Diablo alone, based on all of those shutdowns that he was able to pick up.
In the second rotation, B&K FearX prioritizing it early.
Well, Canyon face checking once again, as it is going to be the kill onto Kellen. B&K FearX still with an opportunity though, as Chovy is incredibly low. Canyon as well, falling lower and lower. The heal going to be invested just to try and keep them alive. Really impressive. The fact that Raptor and Kellen have not been afraid to just go in, put themselves on the line clear as well. Being able to catch flanks has been really impressive. As Canyon goes in, Kellen in a little bit of a rough spot, is actually now flashing away, has been separated from the rest of the team. True Shot Barrage not really doing too much outside of softening up Ruler, and now Raptor could be in trouble. The flash out once again as the charm is invested, as Canyon was looking for Diablo. And Gen.G, they once again kill Kellen. Man, I've seen Oleona do this relatively recently, and it's not exactly the greatest to deny that second Infernal Drake for Gen.G. So now they will move to Soul Point. Gen.G do get their prize.
Good progress in the recent minutes.
Oh, Diablo just throwing out Mystic Shots all over the place. SolarFlare going to get some slows, but not too much more, as now Clear goes golden, but Raptor's the one in so much trouble. Canyon locks down the kill. Duro keeping himself safe as well, and the Gwen is dead. Diablo is going to have to be an absolute hero, but the charm lands. Of course it does. This time around, Chovy in the clutch, able to make it happen. The knock-up onto Kellen will be able to take him down, but Duro is going to die. Diablo having to use everything, and the follow-up charm is just too good. And from being in a winning position to probably just losing the game in the snap of some fingers.
Duro playing so well around KIA, ensuring they got that kill.
Vikla's dead. Well, he's golden. But there are a lot of feathers on the ground there. The Sand Soldiers will celebrate, but they're not celebrating for B&K. This inhibitor turret's going to go down the inhibitor to follow, but I'm seeing this like the Xerxes moment, you know, where he throws the spear and the scratch is left on the cheek of the god. And certainly Gen.G can bleed. This was not clean throughout the mid-game, but they do take the W in the end.
So to be clear, she got nerfed on 2508, she got nerfed on 2507, she got nerfed on 2504.
My god.
So in the last 5 patches, she's been nerfed 3 times.
Gen.G.
Yeah, Canyon trying to relieve some pressure and just ends up making things worse. And a couple of summoners burn for B&K FearX, but the health... Oh no.
All right, well, there's a taunt onto Vikla as Canyon is moving over. The chains do connect, but down goes the Silas immediately, and Chovy's still alive. Vikla going to be regretting that one, I could imagine. As Raptor now fighting against Canyon here. There's a full minion wave, but this doggo is unleashed, and down goes Canyon. The bleed's still going to land. The teleports are coming in now, but Raptor is out of there. Yeah.
It's going to be very dangerous.
Very ninja-esque. Absolutely. As now they go in. There's the lightning crash. And Kellen, he's definitely dead. Canyon just says, okay, we'll take that one. Some seafood, please. And Raptor, he's going to be taking the grubs in response. And so B&K not getting nothing for the play, but getting a kill onto this Zed, another one, is going to mean good things for Gen.G's mid-game.
And also, I mean, it's only a bit of a syscall for Ruler, but if you look at the farm difference as well, basically no lead for Lucian in this matchup.
I've seen this one before. As Equalizer going to come down from Keen, he just realizes that perhaps I'm getting dove. And they're still going to go in, as Raptor is taking so much damage. He goes untargetable, but thankfully, Clear picks up the turret aggro. That was scary.
Confidence in the kid of Neferi, able to drop the aggro just in time and survive that. Good gang coming out from B&K FearX, not the easiest to pull off.
Coming through pretty nicely there for Clear as Gen.G. We're going to try and take this first dragon, but Raptor comes on over. It is going to be secured by Canyon. Tidal Wave is good, but heroic entrances coming in on both sides. The knockup comes in. That is going to be a kill going over to the Silas, and Chovy has to flash away. Good blast cone, but Ruler not going to be able to get any kills off the back end of that one.
I think Ruler's just dead.
Yeah.
Or bare minimum barrier and wild growth bin.
Well, Canyon is looking to come in and take down Clear here, who bounces to the wrong side. Oh no! Oh, unforced error number 2. This time Canyon's actually able to capitalize on it instead of being at the rough end of it.
Do that.
Yeah, and there's Imperial Mandate as well, so it's not Mikhail's from Kellen as item number 1, so he's very susceptible to CC. Diablo all in on the aggression as Equalizer is odd, to say the least. Canyon not really with too much of an option here as the tidal wave is great. Canyon now looking for something there, but he just goes down. Vikla, the death mark, not doing anything to this Silas. And Canyon's having a happy game here today. What it feels like as Diablo goes in, the ulti from Ruler has to flash away though, and B&K really flexing their muscles. Rift Herald now going to be taken under the noses of Gen.G. They have a ward. There's just nothing they can do.
Look, I don't want to be too critical, but I'm going to be.
Okay.
As a Zed, how are you getting caught out so repeatedly?
Well, he's going to be evened out. I don't think Canyon's going to be able to secure this. And that is indeed the fact. And it's a Chemtech Soul. Hawks, you're right here. Well, we'll see what they can make of it. As good polymorph there onto Diablo. Another spell that is not going to be mitigated very easily. And we're looking for a charge. We'll actually get one this time around as Diablo goes in with the culling, and the turret almost kills him there.
He wants to so bad.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be able to get that minion. Puts one ability on cooldown. Spins around a bit, and there is the Equalizer who does absolutely nothing. I just don't know whether it's going to be enough here to keep him alive. That Harpoon did most of his health bar as Vikla presses the R button again because he can. And he is just going to waste their time before burning. It's another kill going over to Canyon as B&K are looking to take an Archon in response.
I mean, this is why it's risky, you know? You spend that much time on the top side of the map, and Vikla survived for hot minute, and it gives BK Corrects the opportunity to take this out of can.
Yeah, Chovy sees it and sees that he can do nothing about it.
Oh, now watch the XP bars.
Oh yeah, here we go, here we go. And... oh, that was nice.
There we go.
I do like
pick up as many of the flowers as possible around the map.
Makes sense. Well, Dura is going to spot Raptor here as he moves over, but the Chemtech Drake is going to be taken. BNK not even putting up too much of a fight because Vikla was looking to kill this turret. He does do so. Now going to continue the fight forward, but doesn't hit the chain, and Chovy is going to be absolutely fine. So another turret goes down. Equalize now onto Diablo as in goes Canyon. Heroic entrance is going to come on through as Diablo flashes to get himself away. Taunt is going to connect onto Vikla as now Ruler dives in, but doesn't hit the ulti. As the death mark comes in, bubble him up, not able to beef up that damage at all. And so not really doing too much of anything. Speaking of which, Raptor comes down towards his bottom side as Keen does go golden. Gets the barbecue in the right position as well, which looks pretty cool. But look at this. The playability into the doggo is looking a little bit low. Wait, what? Chovy clears out a control ward. Looking at Bubble connecting here onto Ruler, who will just ride the wave. And Equalizer. Diablo actually walking all the way down it and just explodes. Nothing he can do. Canyon looking to try and get on in there, but does get out instead. And the doggo goes down this time. Heroic entrance. And Clear is just going to explode. Where did everyone go? BNK are just all on the floor. Now Gen.G are going to get a Baron, and I guess the game's over. What?
Yep, you're only going to make one big mistake against Gen.G, and that was it. Double too far forwards, didn't have the flash available. Remember, Kellen used his ult a moment before.
Oh,
so no peel tools meant a quick fight win for the side of Gen.G.
Well, Kellen just looking to try and defend as Vikla is fighting against Chovy, but there goes the Baron. A little bit of worry when you're facing off against the Galio. As Keen moves on down towards his bottom side, will be able to take this outer turret, at least eventually, as he does go golden. Raptor going to be moving in. Canyon comes down as well as Keen is just going to die.
Okay, well. But it looks like Raptor's somewhat unfazed.
Yeah, Vikla on a wraparound as well. The rest of Gen.G getting into the banana brush as Vikla does come in. BNK, they're all here. And in a choke point with that tidal wave is absolutely huge. They do manage to take down Diablo though, so the Dragon, it will go over to BNK, but can they stay alive in the fight? Three-man taunt from Chovy's gigantic as Raptor goes in. I'm not sure about that one, and the knock-up is going to connect. Down goes the Aurora. And once again, 4 of them are dead in trade for 2, but Keen was dead in the bottom lane for no reason at all. He's teleporting into the top lane.
There's a 4v5 and they still end up winning it very convincingly there. And I think it's hit critical mass at this point. Gen.G going to start taking some more severe structures. The first inhibitor tower of the game is going to go down. And the mid lane, tier 2 is sure to follow.
Yep. The inner turret's certainly going to fall. We'll see whether they can get yet another inhibitor off the back end of that one, but I think they're just pretty happy with it. Another equalizer as Kellen almost just dies to that alone. And Chovy's on a flank. Vikla will find him. The taunt is going to come through, keeps 2 of them busy here as Diablo. Oh my god, Canyon gets in there. Double kill as the bottom lane is eviscerated. And look at that, the bouncy castle is not where Vikla wanted to be. He was playing League of Legends. He didn't want to go to a kid's birthday party. And now Raptor is just a doggo underneath the turret with nowhere to go. And Clear diving over that wall. He's on a control ward though. And Canyon may actually lose out on this one. Another round of spells and that's a dead Zed. But yeah, no, not going to bed here.
I think the kid's birthday party might have been more fun at this point.
Yeah, especially bouncy castles are really fun actually. That was not a fun version of one.
And now they're pushing up to end the game. It's only Raptor alive. There are spawns coming in soon. Can he do anything? That's the question.
Well, it's looking like the answer is going to be no. He's going to get taunted up. Does go untargetable, but these Nexus turrets are not long for the world. And Gen.G, it's looking like it's going to be a 2-0 here. Yet another win for Canyon. Zed as well, even though things looked a little bit dicey. Finishes the game with 7 kills.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.